Hi guys, it's me Jimmy again. GTX 980 Ti versus GTX Titan. GTX 980 Ti is the overclock version of GTX 980, the original 980 with a 4 GB of VRAM, which is costing you $549, or does the GTX 980 Ti is the same as GTX 9 Titan X, and then it's just a little bit underclock compared to the GTX Titan X. Firstly, let's get the price out. GTX 980 Ti is costing you $649 where the GTX Titan X is costing you $999. It's not a big difference, but the difference 35% in price. It's up to you if you can afford go with GTX Titan X. If you can't, just watch my review. So the price is not a big difference, but 35% is really a difference, where the GTX 980 Ti is costing you $649, the original GTX 980 which is costing you $549, and then the Titan X which is costing you $999. If really the price difference is not a big deal, now let's get to the RAM. The original 980 is coming with 4 GB of VRAM. It does not have the same problem of 4 GB of VRAM like the GTX 970. The new GTX Titan X is coming with a 12 GB of VRAM. 12 GB of VRAM is really future proofing. But how much the GTX Titan Ti is coming? The GTX Titan Ti is coming with 6 GB of VRAM, where we already know the AMD R9 390X is coming with 8 GB of VRAM. I do not know why Nvidia just want to stay behind of the RAM. You will be saying, Jimmy, Nvidia is already giving us 12 GB of VRAM. Yes, they are giving on a 12 GB of VRAM on Titan X, but not everybody can afford Titan X. Anyway, 6 GB of VRAM is possible. Basically, you already know that GTA 5 requires at least 6 GB of VRAM to play that game. I recommend setting. Do not argue with me. 6 GB of VRAM recommend. If you want to play GTA 5 on PC, just go and get a graphic card which is about 6 GB of VRAM, like the GTX 980 Ti, the GTX Titan X, or the upcoming AMD R9 390X, or even you can get a AMD R9 290X with 8 GB of VRAM. I will include the link in the description box below. Just check it out. Both GTX 980 Ti and the GTX Titan X are offering the same amount of CUDA core, 3072, where the original GTX 980 is only coming with 2048 CUDA core. What the F is really happening? So one thing is clear, that GTX 980 Ti is not an overclock of GTX 980. Why? Basically, it's offering 2 times more CUDA core than the basically, how to say, 1.5 more time CUDA core than the original GTX 980. GTX 980 Ti, which is costing you 35% less than the GTX Titan X, is offering the same amount CUDA core. Isn't that insane? Now let's talk about the bit bus set. GTX Titan X is offering you 384 bit bus, and then the GTX 980 Ti is coming with a 384 bit. Again, a similarity in, let's find out the GTX 980. GTX 980 is coming with a 256 bit bus, and then the GTX 970 again 256 bit bus, and then the GTX 960 128 bit. Who wanna use that bloody graphic? Anyways, so again, one thing is clear, GTX 980 Ti is not a overclock of GTX 980. GTX 980 Ti is an underclock version of Titan X. So basically, it means, is GTX 980 Ti is a Titan X? Yes, one thing for sure. Here's another proof that GTX 980 Ti is GTX Titan X. Number one, GTX Titan X is using 250 watt of TDP, and then a GTX 980 Ti is also using 250 watt of TDP, where the original GTX 980 is using only 165 watt. Now here's another final proof to make you sure that the GTX 980 Ti is the same GTX Titan X. The Titan X is using GM200 GPU chipset, and then the GTX 980 is also using the same chipset to GM200, where the original GTX 980 is using GM 204, and then GTX 970 is also using GM204. So I mean basically there nothing similarity between GTX 980 and 980 Ti. All the similarity go with the Titan X. I mean they're using the same GPU name, they're using the same amount of TDP, they're using the same bit, but they're using the same CUDA core. So one thing is for sure, GTX 980 Ti is the same graphic card of Titan X. Basically you can say that Titan X only comes with more amount of RAM, double amount of RAM, so that's why you're paying the premium of 999. If you don't need more than 6 GB of VRAM, just go with GTX 980 Ti. And the one thing is for sure, AMD R9 390X is gonna beat the hell out of Titan X, is gonna beat the hell of GTX 980. We already know, we have already benchmarked out there. AMD R9 390X is outperforming Titan X. So my personal bet is that go with AMD R9 390X. But if you're a loyal fan of Nvidia, there is no reason to buy Titan X unless if you're editing 4K video on a buttering smooth, you wanna edit 80 megapixel images in Photoshop, so that will eat a large chunk of the VRAM. Then I will say go with the Titan X. Normally if you still wanna stay the Nvidia fan, but go with GTX 980 Ti. Yes, GTX 980 Ti is the Titan X, only with less VRAM. Subscribe to my channel. It's me, Jimmy. Okay, bye bye.